2020. What's his time, ma'am?
6:54.
6:54 PM, Burrillville High School Media Center, 425 East Avenue, Harrisville, Rhode Island. Members present, all, please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Item 2, recognition. We have none this evening. Item 3, consent agenda. Approval of minutes, warrants and invoices, bids.
Mr. Chair, motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting, December 10th, 2019. Approval of warrant number 6 for the month of December 2019, dated January 14th, 2020, in the amount of $2,655,297.29. Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have no bids this evening, right?
Correct.
Okay. Item 4, presentations by the public to the school committee. We have none this evening. Item 5, public comment. Anyone wishing to speak to the school committee this evening? Having none. Item 6, personnel, appointments, leaves of absence, retirements, resignations.
Mr. Chair, motion to approve the following leaves of absence. Natalie Holton, teacher assistant at the middle school, on or about February 23rd, 2020 through the end of the 2019-2020 school year. Sam Stanton, social studies teacher at the high school, on or about April 20th, 2020 through the end of the 2019-2020 school year. And Lauren Fernandez, teacher assistant at the high school, extend leave of absence through the end of the 2019-2020 school year.
Second.
Motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, a motion to approve the following appointments. Evan Dalgizzi, behavior specialist for the district, effective December 16th, 2019. And Angela Harriman, behavior specialist for the district, effective December 16th, 2019.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
And, Mr. Chair, a motion to approve the following athletic appointments as presented.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Item 7, old business. Fiscal year 20 BSD budget update.
Motion open.
Second.
Motion open second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Just for informational purposes, no recommendations on projections
Motion to receive and file?
So moved.
Second.
Motion to second, receive and file, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Fiscal year 20 rink budget update.
Motion open.
Second.
Motion open to second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Same.
Motion to receive and file.
Second.
Motion to receive and file on second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Item 8, superintendent's report.
Motion open.
Second.
Motion open to second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Dr. Solito.
All right, thank you, everyone. Just a couple of items to report out on tonight. Let's start with Spark grants. Pleased to announce, pleased to announce that we were awarded 4 Spark grants from the Rhode Island Foundation. These are for teachers at Callahan School. Each grant is roughly around $1,000, and they'll be used for the following. Rachel O'Clair and Erin Jasmine both were awarded grants for grade 3 visits to Tamaqua Museum in Exeter.
Got that in the notice.
Joanna Macaruso is our music teacher. She's going to use the money to purchase funds for 3rd and 4th grade curriculum. Audrey Williamson, librarian and tech teacher. She wrote the grant to have Providence Children's Film Festival come to the high school. They'll be screening a selection of films from around the world. Students will be bused to the high school and then vote on their favorite and have a Q&A with the head of the film festival company. So I just wanted to congratulate them and make mention that the 4 Spark grants are all going to Callahan this year. Next item, as Attorney Scunzio has mentioned today, we have several model policies that he's been working on with a number of his districts. I've looked at these policies and have made some revisions The policies that he's working on are a hiring policy, an administrative contract policy, and a school improvement team policy. My recommendation is to, the policies have been developed, but each district can revise those to better align or best align with their current policies or any needs of the district. So my recommendation is to schedule a policy subcommittee meeting to review these policies and then make any revisions as needed, then bring them back to the full committee for first reading and ultimately an approval. Those policies, again, as was mentioned in the legislative session, those policies all play a big part in the new legislation, particularly the school improvement team makeup and the hiring policy.
How soon do you expect those to be ready to be reviewed?
Probably the end of this week.
Oh, so they're ready
They're pretty
to go.
close. I just want to finalize one more time with Ben before we have those released.
And I think that the superintendent can coordinate with the policy subcommittee directly
Yeah.
for scheduling meetings.
Okay.
I'll try to get a meeting by late January, early February.
Yeah, perfect, thank you.
And finally, just wanted to mention a schedule of upcoming meetings. January 22nd, we have our presentation, my presentation request to the town council to approve our 5-year CIP. That's at 7 o'clock in council chambers. Also, we have our meeting scheduled on January 29th. That's the joint town council school committee meeting. Again, that's a 7 PM meeting in council chambers. And finally, February 13th is the presentation to the budget board. That is at 6:30 in council chambers as well. And that concludes my report for tonight.
Anyone have any questions? Does anyone have any questions for the superintendent? Having none, we'll move on to administrators' reports.
Mr. Chair, motion to receive and file with a big thank you to all the administrators, staff, and students for all the great educational information, arts, sports, and other projects that were presented in all of the reports.
Second?
Motion to second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Item 10,
I did-
reports of school committee.
I just have a question, and I don't know if, I see.
You're on
Dr.
administrators' reports?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was reading this, the Bronco update, and it's a school to career news. I'm just wondering, this, work-based learning opportunities, are we advertising that anywhere? Looking, because it looks like you're looking for, different businesses to
Terry, what
educate.
page is that on?
It's the Bronco update. I was reading this
For
and
the
I
high
thought,
school?
that's, it's such a great idea, but how are we advertising that to get people to, I don't know what page 10.
Page 10, thank you. Oh, this is for the Prepare Rhode Island.
Yeah,
Okay, so, yeah, the Prepare Rhode Island, they've been, that's an application process. They only take a certain number of students that you have to apply for that through the school. You have to, I believe, be a junior or senior at the high school. There's a formal application process. Last year, I want to say we had 7 or 8 students that applied. I'm not sure how many actually were awarded the internship, but they are offering that and advertising that through the high school for any students that are interested. And again, they have to submit their name, there's an application process. So it's not open to everyone, it's open to specific students.
but
for
it
the
looks
Prepare
like
Rhode
they're
Island.
looking for potential employers or companies willing to offer an internship to our students.
Right, so we had our monthly, a quarterly rather, advisory board meeting for our CTE this morning, and we discussed this. Elaine Sardella, who is our school-to-work coordinator, she's in charge of that, and we have been updating our list of community partners,
Yeah,
and she's been getting the word out to
And how-
community businesses and other people who may want to take students in. So the requirement from the Department of Education is that any student who participates in a career and tech ed program has to complete 80 work-based learning hours. And there's 5 different categories that they can compete those work-based learning hours in. Internship is one, a community project is another, and so on. So she's looking to get support to help help coordinate really those 80 work-based learning hours for our kids.
So would these be local businesses and,
They would be local businesses in town and throughout all of Rhode Island and all of the northern part of the state to allow students to get out. This is a really a statewide issue because the guidance that we're getting from the Department of Education is that eventually every student, whether they're enrolled in a CT program or not, is going to be required to complete 80 hours of work-based learning. And there's really just not enough business partners out there to provide 80
Right.
work-based learning hours for every student.
so I guess that's my question, how are they getting the word out there that to the businesses?
Right
and
now,
things like-
she's been calling and mailing. Elaine's been calling and mailing, and we mentioned it today at the meeting, so anybody who was at that meeting, asked them to get the word out to local businesses who may want to join a kind of our database. So she's putting a list together.
To your point, we can put it on our district social media.
Yeah, I was just gonna
Sure.
say, because that's been gaining momentum, I don't know if you've been, that's been gaining momentum, it's been,
Yeah,
we
almost
can add it
600
to-
followers so far, so that's been great.
Yeah, and also what you're gonna talk about later on, when we get there, maybe we could add it to that as well.
If you don't mind. Sure, I can do that.
Anyone else? Having none. Reports of school committee, subcommittees. Do you have any reports? No? Having none. 11, correspondence, communications. We have a correspondence from Jamestown School Committee, resolution.
Motion to receive and file.
Second?
So receive and file. Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Anyone else have anything else under communications, correspondence? Having
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Item 12, new business, sabbatical request.
Motion to
Salito?
oh.
Do we have to open on that? We have to open. It wouldn't hurt.
Motion open?
Second?
Motion open and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so in front of you in your packet, you have a sabbatical request from Kelly Rogers, who's a fifth grade teacher at Stair Farm. I'm not going to read the request, I'm sure that everyone reviewed it, and I am not recommending approval of this request since there is no formal program. It's not a program that she's enrolled in, it's more of an independent study on conscious discipline, professional development, which can easily be completed after school hours or over the summer or over vacations. So I'm not recommending approval of this.
I will accept a vote from the committee to support or not support
So
the
moved to
superintendent.
support the superintendent's recommendation.
Second.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next item, discussion, vote, the draft fiscal year 2021 BSD budget.
Motion open.
Second.
Motion open the second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Dr. Salito?
So you have the FY21 budget request in front of you. This is the same request that was discussed at our budget workshop last week. I don't think there have been any changes to that since then. So we're looking for a vote for approval of this budget. Of course, being so early in the budget season, this is certainly subject to change, but it is the budget request as it stands right now. Robin, I'm not sure if there's anything you want to add as a draft, right?
As a draft. Motion on the draft budget.
So moved.
I have a motion. And a second.
Who did the second, please?
Sean,
Thank you, Sean.
any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Discussion vote on draft 2021 rink budget.
Motion open.
Second?
Motion open the second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Robin?
Yeah, actually, the rink budget is not a draft.
Okay.
So the reason ours is a draft is because we have items that are subject to change now until we get closer to the end of the year, but the rink doesn't have those issues.
Okay.
And as everyone knows, the rink is self-supporting. So it's really just informational that you give it to the budget board, and then they approve it.
Motion to approve and send to the budget board.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Discussion, vote, 5-year capital improvement budget.
Motion open?
Second.
Motion opened and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, so you have in front of you the proposed 5-year CIP. Everything has been outlined by year and location, has a list of the project, the justification, project cost, a contingency cost of 20%, and then the total project cost. The 20% soft cost and contingency is mandated addition by RIDE. There have been a few revisions to this since we last spoke, bringing the total project cost over the 5 years to $7,214,340. Reason for the revisions is we have added some educational enhancements as recommended by the building committee RIDE representatives. By adding those educational enhancements, we have increased our reimbursement rate from the original was 50.8%. The 5% that we received on top of that for health and safety made it 55, and then an additional 5% if 25% of your projects are based on educational enhancement, you qualify for an additional 5%. So that would bring our reimbursement rate on those qualifying projects to 60%. And even though we added extra total project cost to the budget, with the reimbursement, we're actually saving money in the end.
And this also fulfills our maintenance requirement
Correct.
from the state. It fulfills it, and it really looks like the numbers are close also to our 2% maintenance requirement.
Our 2% maintenance requirement is only, close to 800,000.
Okay.
So, but with our expenses or our appropriation for maintenance in our general funds, between that and the CIP, we're definitely good with the cap.
So if you look at the last page, on the bottom, underneath the list of all the projects, there is kind of a cost estimate over the 5 years by fiscal year, starting with this year, FY '20, and going through to fiscal year 2024. Also is our housing aid reimbursement rate and our total amount that's reimbursed per year based on the schedule of projects. So the cost of the projects over the 5 years, roughly $7.2 million. Our housing aid reimbursement based on the qualifying projects would be just about $4.2 million. So our net cost of 5-year facility projects would be $3,023,000 in change. In addition to that, the PAYGO funding, which is an immediate reimbursement on projects, is $549,732. So if approved by the committee, this will be what will be presented to the town council at the January 22nd meeting next week.
A great job by the Necessity of Construction Committee. I think this package is really very, very good for both the town and the schools and everybody. So let's see the motion.
Motion to approve and to be presented to the budget board?
Second. Town council.
I'm sorry, town council.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
One of the requirements is you only have to get halfway, so if all of a sudden we ran into issues.
Correct.
Yep, you don't have to do the full
As long
thing.
as you get the 50%.
Right, correct,
Commitment to fund by the council.
Then it gives you
Right.
flexibility if
correct,
things go sideways.
correct.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Approve homeschool applications.
Mr. Chair, make a motion to approve the homeschool applications as presented.
Second?
Motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Committee comments on agenda items. Madison?
I'll just make one, just one quick comment about the, the budget request, which, the preliminary numbers are pretty high. I know we're anticipating a good refund from the state, hopefully that state aid comes in as expected. I have a tendency to try and be a budget hawk when I think it's appropriate. I think we are in a difficult situation that is, a lot of the state changes that have been made are undermining our ability to control our destiny here. I've got a list of a few things that I think most of us in this room are all aware of, but to say it out loud puts it in perspective. You know, our out-of-district tuition rates are skyrocketing. The transportation that's required by the state is out of our control, and it's very expensive. You know, the formula by which these charter schools are getting their funding is out of whack, it's out of balance, it's not fair to the district. Even the fight we had with the DCYF placements, we don't have control over those. They mandate what we have to do. You know, the pension reform that took place with Gina, under Gina Raimondo's watch, places our teachers at a top step, and the increasing percentage of those teachers is a burden on the district as well financially. So, having said all that, if we're to try and tweak our budget, we're really looking at the 10% of the budget that we have any control over. You know, 80% for the salaries and benefits, and the 10% that's going for these out-of-district tuitions and for the, you know, transportation, leaves us very little room. So if we want to make any substantial cuts, we're doing a disservice to the district, to the students, and in an environment where we're trying to compete as a business almost, trying to attract students to come here. If we don't have the things in place that'll attract them, we're doing ourselves an additional disservice by not asking to have that budget funded. So it's a weird world I think we kind of live in, the way that these things have been rolling out, but that's my rationale for supporting the budget, and it's more than I'd like to see, but I don't see any other way if we're going to continue to move forward. So hoping those numbers change both on the state level, if we can get people involved to help put pressure on the state so that we can try and curtail some of those things. That'll go a long way, and then hopefully we can keep our kids here in the district and not have to spend money to send them to be educated somewhere else. So that was my little piece on where I come from making the decision
That's a
to
good
approve
point.
the budget.
I'm glad
so.
you clarified that you're not on a first-name basis with Governor Raimondo.
Well, thank you, Mark, for pointing that out. Other than that, I have nothing else to say.
Anyone else?
I just wanted to wish our high schoolers good luck on their exams. I think they kick off
Tuesday.
next week, so good luck, study hard.
Good advice.
That's it.
Perfect. Anyone else? Terry, can you hear me? Okay, that's it for that. Item 14, pending issues, district social media promotion. I think Sean has something for us.
Earlier today I'd run by Chair Brizard and the superintendent an idea that I had, just a suggestion to further promote our site and create that more of a sense of a community, which I think we're doing. And the suggestion is to ask we are really technically a department of the town. So it would make sense to me to suggest that we write something up for the town administration to send a notification out via their Civic Plus system. We send notifications for Easter, what goes on at the parks, and all the ongoings in Burrillville. So it would make sense to me that it goes not only that way, but to be posted on the Burrillville Facebook town page, which is an excellent resource and has some good followers as well. Because I'm still running into some constituents and parents that don't know that we have a district site, and it's amazing. It's growing immensely and quickly, but I think, if Mike and his staff keep doing what they're doing, I think that that sense of community is going to get stronger. And when I say sense of community, we have taxpayers that don't have kids in the district, and they really need to know the wonderful things that we're doing.
That's a good idea.
Really good idea.
So my suggestion is maybe we could construct something, Dr. Salito and Mark to send out to the town manager or the town council, I don't know who it goes to, to say a little bit about our page and see if they'll post it and email it.
We'll make sure we get that done.
Yep, I can write something up and send it to the town clerk.
Perfect. Anyone else?
The page, I don't know if you've had a chance to look at it at all, but it's wonderful. I check it out every single day, and the principals reporting on it, and it's wonderful to see. And
is
it's
good.
amazing everything that's going on in the schools that people don't realize, all the things that are going on in the school district.
what I'm noticing, Terry, to parrot off what you're saying is, you look at the Bronco update tonight and the administrators update, if you follow that and subscribe to it, you're getting that daily and seeing what's going on
Yep.
daily. And it's some quality stuff. I mean, it really is some quality stuff. It's not just a picture of our kids, it's literally a description of what they're doing. And
And
I
the
think it's a
hands-on
great thing.
things that they're doing too
Yeah.
every day.
It's all the
day-to-day
good
hands-on.
stuff.
Yeah.
The everyday good stuff that takes place.
Good news.
Anyone else? I don't think we need to take a vote on that. We'll just ask Dr. Salito to take care of that.
Sure.
and We'll be good with that.
Thank you. I will do that tomorrow.
Okay, item 15.
Motion to adjourn.
Second?
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for coming, everyone.